Hi, welcome to Consciously Healthy. I'm Claire.
I'm Laura.
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about...
Life's so unfair.
We were just talking about it before we started this. This is about being on a health journey, doing everything right and not getting anywhere.
Yeah. And actually this has also triggered a little bit like we have a lot of love for our podcasts personally, and also the feedback that we get from people. There's a lot of love, and thanks for that. We like it a lot too. And we actually had our first bit of criticism this week, which was great. Welcome all input. But one of the comments was that they wouldn't trust us because we don't look healthy and well. I'd like to disagree with that statement. However, in her opinion's absolutely right for her. But we've always been very honest that we are on a health journey, and so we may not look in someone's eyes as the picture of glowing health because we still fight our symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Although a lot of people do tell us we look like the picture of glowing health, so it's just in the eye of the beholder, right? But it's interesting because we were just saying that someone who still looks 20 despite taking drugs, having had children, not really being particularly healthy or mindful of health.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
It's one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this is I had 2 clients in the clinic today, and both of them work really hard. They have followed the supplements and the diet, and they're dealing with their emotions, and they're ticking all the boxes, and both of them said to me, I'm doing everything right and I'm not getting better. And I really, really resonate with that. And it can be so difficult because it is that why isn't this happening? I'm doing everything right. Why is it not happening? And my answer to that is that our health is one of our greatest teachers. And if I had found the solution to my health in the first month, I would never be doing what I'm doing now.
No.
I would never be so tenacious, and like the deep explorers that we both are come from the fact that the usual routes just didn't work.
No.
So we had to find another way, and from that we help others find another way. And there is gold in them hills.
There
with
is.
Having to go through a health journey to find symptom relief.
And sometimes it takes a long time. I know I used to really frustrate the kinesiologist that I was seeing because my IBS just wouldn't go away. I could get the pain to stop and I could get management of it right, but I could just never get my bowel function right. And it was like, oh my God, this is actually embarrassing that I'm still I still can't fix it. And I'd have clients that would have so much success, and yet there I was going, I'm so pleased for your success. It would be nice if I could have a little bit of, just a slice of that success. And yet there was still learning to be had. It's lovely now, by the way, in case anyone was in the slightest bit interested about my pooing status. A marvellous time now. But it's like I just hadn't found the solution, and it's just it took that long to find the solution. And we like to talk about sort of therapeutically, it can take months for years. If you've had the problem 6 years, it could take 6 months to find the solution. And so we do need to be tenacious. And when we do get clients who come, 2 sessions ago, it wasn't working, it's like, well, what were you expecting? But we have got clients, and us, we noticed changes in our health for sure. There were lots of different symptoms that changed. I couldn't have headaches anymore. My IBS pain wasn't there. But it just took years, and there is nothing more frustrating. And this also came out of the fact that you got a bug, didn't you?
Oh my God, I have been so ill. It's been 2 months. I mean, I'm just starting to come out the back end of it now. I can still hear it in my voice. It's been 2 months of like mucus and flu-y symptoms and having to take time off work, and this is so unlike me. And I was like, what the hell? This is actually, I feel like an embarrassment to my industry because I could not get myself well. And this is what has sparked the new immune research that I've been doing. Because I was ticking all the boxes. I was doing everything right. But there is now new research coming out that it's showing me that a lot of the supplements that I was taking for immune support are actually triggering the wrong side of my immune system, which is causing me to be it's creating more symptoms. And I could have been really cross with that, but I'm actually like, oh my God, how exciting.
But that's you as a health practitioner. So, of course, we like to say that we are the guinea pigs. We throw ourselves into the jaws of the beast, and we've got nowhere else to go. We're not about to go to the doctors and take antibiotics. Just a few years ago, I got bitten by a spider. I did develop a nice abscess of staphylococcal septicemia. I went to the doctor. I had antibiotics. We're not Puritans, you know. But you're not about to go just down the route of the medical stuff because you don't believe that fixes it. It just puts a sticking plaster on it. But when we get clients coming who are really doing everything right, and actually I guess we're also admitting therefore that there is always new research, there's always new stuff. But it is so frustrating. And you were saying at the time, oh my goodness, am I getting worse? Am I going back? And that's often the fear. Am I getting worse?
That maybe is the title of this podcast, actually. Am I getting worse? And there are two routes with that. I mean, I don't believe in getting worse. It's if more symptoms are coming.
I'm going to remind you that when you're texting me at 10 o'clock, oh, getting worse. I'm like, no, you're just being a drama queen.
Is that the body is showing symptoms because it's trying to communicate with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we're having like a big immune clear out, it's a form of detox. It is the body sort of having a clear out, and you'll know if you're having what they call like a healing crisis, because you'll feel better afterwards. You'll feel better than you were before you went through the healing crisis. If you go through and you're feeling worse and you continue to feel worse,
I don't know,
probably not a healing crisis. Probably, you know, there's something that you're doing that is triggering the symptoms on more of a. Yeah, you need to kind of look at that. But I really understand the frustration of am I getting worse, and I've totally been there.
I was totally there last year. My chronic fatigue was at an all-time high. I mean, I could have slept 20 hours a day, and that 4 hours a day I'd still been dragging myself around. And my IBS symptoms were back horrendously. It didn't matter what I was eating. I was just bent over in pain. There was a list of foods I couldn't eat. I was piling on weight, like to the point that I've not experienced the piling on of weight like that actually ever. My weight's always been overweight but constant. It was horrendous, absolutely exhausted. That should be the name of my biography. Tired, fat, and gut ache.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would buy that.
And overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I really resonate with that feeling of I am doing everything right. I'm doing the right type of exercise for me. I'm eating, good quality, careful food. I'm supplementing what is going on.
What do you want from me?
What do you want from me?
Oh, we've said that quite a few times.
But I completely agree with you. It is a gift. And when we start looking at, I know we've done podcasts on Chinese 5-element theory and where sort of conditions sit. When you start looking at things, your body is just screaming at you. The thing is, we don't necessarily know how to listen to it. And truth is, if I'm really honest with myself, around last year, yes, I was diagnosed with a very strange glandular, supposedly, what was the word I called it? Probable diagnosis of a strange glandular condition due to my birth trauma. But equally, I was working way too hard, way too often, every day. I was under a lot of pressure. I was not actually in my full alignment. We were having to work on things that wasn't following our bliss. There were so many things that my body was just going, none of this is right. You've got to look at this. And
you were doing a diet that it would be great for some people.
Most people.
Great for most people. Terrible for you.
Terrible for me. And so, it was all learning. And in the same way, this for you, it's like it's led you to this place. And often when we're working with clients and they're just not getting better, and it's like, just keep going, just hold on, just keep going. And I've seen clients get way worse before they get better. I had a client come to me and blood sugars were all over the place and were just hungry all the time, and we recommended a way of eating that we work with, and I was like, it's gonna, he was like, I'm putting on weight, I'm putting on more weight. Just trust. And then all of a sudden one day his body went, I get what you're doing. And then hunger, stopped clicking in, normal hunger came back, weight started coming off, just energy was better. It just takes some time.
So our recommendation, if you're on a health journey and you're asking yourself the question, am I getting worse, is to keep going, keep looking for those answers, to stick with
and
it.
not to necessarily stick doing the same thing. So it's a fine line between I'm sticking at it and I'm going to give it its due time, but then if it's not working, it's time to look somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, reach out. You can ask us questions. We are always open to questions, because sometimes it really helps to hear from someone who's had experience to go, this is a sign that your body is doing something, and stick with it or change.
Yeah, just to say specifically though, and unless we're actually working with you as on a one-to-one basis, because we don't know your medical history, we can't actually make specific recommendations. But in terms of support and, you know, do reach out. Yeah,
the emotional side, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, stick with it.
Yeah.
Tired, fat and overwhelmed. Yeah, my memoirs.
Tune in next time.